It's time to focus on seniors with Helping Seniors TV. The television show designed to make you aware of senior issues and needs, as well as to acquaint you with the resources available to help you age in place and with dignity. Now, here's your host, Joe Steckler.
I'm Joe Steckler, and welcome to Helping Seniors, the television arm of Helping Seniors of Brevard County. Our show is designed to provide you with information on how to develop your own aging and care plans. Our topic today is home modification, and joining me is Elaine Cook, president of HandyPro of the Space Coast. And before I turn to Elaine, I just want to let you know that you're going to see two dogs with us today, and they're both therapy dogs. These are dogs that Elaine trains. She does train. One is this beagle is kind of active right now, but they're very good. I've got a beautiful Rhodesian Ridgeback sitting right below my feet, and the dog is very, very calm, and it's just beautiful to see. But these are therapy dogs, and the little beagle here is another therapy dog. Her name is Talia. And Talia?
Yes, Talia.
Talia. But the real focus is not the dogs, but it's the woman.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Elaine. Listen, that's right. We'll just enjoy the show. The dogs are going to be fine. They've calmed down now. And but Elaine has an interesting story to tell. We did a radio show, and we're talking about getting older, how older people can live, how old people can stay in their homes longer, how we can make a home fit an old person as they grow older. And that's what you do. But I would like for our viewers to know how and why you guys started this program. How did you do that, Elaine?
Okay, I started in the space industry. I'm a Gator engineer. I have a degree in mechanical engineering, and I started over at the Space Center on the floor and worked myself up after 28 years into a program management position. And then we had the end of the space shuttle. But my favorite job as a program manager was industrial engineering for safety, where I was working with different technologies. We were looking for new technologies that we could develop that they would be used to reduce the risk to the workforce, the flight hardware, and the public. And I did a number of different things, from software to robots to ground support equipment. So when the space shuttle ended, and I did work with Embraer and Sea Ray, but then I started thinking I want to do something else and get out of corporate culture. But I really wanted to do something with the new technologies. The HandyPro franchise is what really turned me on, because it was helping people, which is what I was doing before, and also finding new technologies and new solutions. So every disability is not the same, and every senior's home is not the same. There's always a solution, and there's always different solutions. So we have so many different types of lifts, European wet rooms, ramps, grab bars that can be really pretty, that we can put in your home so that you can stay there comfortably, safely, and continue with your independence.
Pick up what you said about being an engineer. Years ago, when the United States wanted to put the mid-air refueling probes on our jet aircraft, I was a midshipman to Naval Academy. This was in 1955, and they brought over the British really developed the mid-air refueling, and brought over an engineer from England. And he had brought his family with him, and I met the family, and the family we used to go out there for dinner sometime. But this gentleman was the guy that was the lead engineer on putting those probes on the aircraft. Time moved forward. He retired. They moved to Salt Lake City. His wife became an invalid. She desperately wanted to live on the side of this mountain. He says, fine. He built a house on the side of the mountain, and he programmed the catwalks and everything to where his wife could drive her propelled wheelchair to every place in the house. He fixed where she could drive under the kitchen sink, she could drive under the table, she could drive under her dressing table. I'm not sure how to solve the bath problems, but he used his technology a different way to provide something different for people. And that's exactly what you've done.
Yes.
So
yes, and I enjoy it.
You talk more about it. You tell people, tell her, well, we're going to, I want you to know first, I still have this Ridgeback sitting down below my feet here, and just as calm as me. It's a therapy dog. And here we have Talia. You want to get up now? We'll get her up later. She's very quiet now. So my granddaughters wanted to watch the show too. You see, because they're started training their new dogs, and they wanted to see how Papa Joe was going to react with dogs on a TV show. But when we got it started, I'm not quite sure how we're going to do it. While we're talking about the dogs, Elaine, how did you get the dogs involved, therapy dogs, with your HandyPro? What do you do with them?
We use them when you're trying to figure out about a solution. If you do have a disability, or you're starting to degrade a little bit because you're getting older, it's hard to come to that realization. It's a difficult transition. So what HandyPro of the Space Coast offers is the service of a therapy dog, so that when we talk about the solutions, they can be there and you can be hugging them and feeling good about the whole situation. So you end up feeling better about the situation. They seem to take the tenseness out of a situation. And the story I usually bring up is my mother-in-law was talking about, we had to talk about assisted living facilities with her. And we had a family conference, and she's got dementia, and she has a hard time sometimes explaining or using her words.
Okay.
And what happened is the Ridgeback would go over to her. She was having trouble. They were asking her what she wanted out of an assisted living facility. And the Ridgeback came over to her, and she started hugging it and pulling on her ears.
Was it
and hugging
Ajax?
her. It was his daughter.
Okay.
It was his daughter. And then she started being able to speak, because she couldn't form the words until she had the Ridgeback there. And then she started speaking. And
That's amazing.
Yeah. And years ago, when they had first started therapy dogs, before I had kids, I had a mixed breed. I went to one of the first nursing homes in Titusville with her. And this man was sitting on the couch, and she came by, and he starts petting her, and he starts talking to her. Well, then the woman behind me starts just crying. And I said, I'm sorry, are you okay? And she said, that's my father. He has not talked. He has not spoken a word for a year. But he's having a conversation with my dog, which was just, that's just perfect.
Yeah,
that's why I do it.
I had no idea which way this show would go when you told me you were going to bring the dogs, and I figured it will work out. It will work out whatever we do. But it kind of tugs at my heart, because I sense you're very attached to the dogs, and I've seen what therapy dogs and service dogs can do to older people, or in situations there's a lot of tension and stuff. It's amazing what animals can bring out in people. It really is. And when you first got here with the dogs, I wasn't sure we were going to get Talia to settle down. She wanted this plant here, and I was determined she couldn't water that way. It'd be a hard time watering the plant.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be difficult. But let's get back to you as an engineer applying your engineering skills to home modification. What do you do? How do you do this?
Okay, we also have certifications. We're certified environmental access consultants, which means we have a certification from the National Association of Home Builders to come in to a home and look for trip and fall hazards and devise ideas and solutions for your home in all the rooms. So we'll go through with the person, usually the caregiver. We also do it as a team thing, so it can be the caregiver, the occupational therapist, the case manager, and we'll go through a home and look to see where they might need a small ramp, where they might need grab bars, where they might need a roll-in shower. Do you need a lift? Do you need, is there stairs that you can't get up? Do you need to lift up the stairs, or do you need a vertical, a vertical power lift that can bring you up the stairs?
You put those things like that in?
Yes, we put all those things in.
So I always wondered about the power lift. When people put those things on the stairs, how do they always ensure that the underlying structure is sound enough to take that load? How do you do that?
Well, we would ensure that the structure is solid before we even.
Okay, let's go. Maybe I didn't ask the question the right way. When you put a lift, somebody sits on it and they sort of crank it up the steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a power. It's a motor type thing.
Yes.
I've always wondered how you could make sure that those things were strong enough or strongly enough attached to whatever you attach it to take the weight. Because I'm amazed at how some of those things work.
They're all attached to a wall, so you're working on a wall that goes up.
So you work
with the wall, with the structure of the wall, yes,
okay.
And you're attaching to that. There are a number of different models, and they're coming up with new technologies all the time. I just saw, and I think it was a Prism chair that actually takes the rail with it as it goes up the stairs, and then you can have a very narrow staircase and actually put one of those chairs in and not have an infringement on your narrowness of your stairs, so you can still get up and down the staircase when the chair is not being used, because it will take its railing up with it, and then it actually turns over to the side and gets out of the way.
It's amazing that we have progressed as much as we have in a way of modifying a home. How expensive, and I know it's just a ballpark type thing, but how long have you been doing this now?
8 months.
You've only been doing it 8 months?
I know, yeah.
And you know this much in 8 months?
So far, yeah.
That means you must have been a pretty good engineer.
I guess I was. Yes, I would say I was, yes.
It's fine that you say it, because our programs are honest programs. I don't have anybody on this show that I don't trust to do something the right way or have their heart in for doing something that needs to be done. And my own experience working with senior citizens, and now that I've become one, it's extremely important for me to get people on these television shows that can point our younger generation in the right direction to take care of their senior parents. And I think that's extremely important, Elaine. I really do. So what are you seeing as, is it expensive to do this? Or
it can be. But the other thing we're also trying to work with is the universal design theory. And I'm starting to come around to this way of thinking too. When you look at your home and you're going to do a remodel and you don't have a disability, but you have friends who have disabilities, you have elder people that might have a disability, and these disabilities could be just canes and walkers. Why not try, when you're doing a remodel in that area, you're already probably going to pull out a home loan, or you've been putting away money for that. Why not make it accessible also? So why not put in a few of these grab bars, the ramps, maybe even a chair to go up the staircase if you're going to redo your staircase. Why not put that in at that point? And then you can put it in with the remodel. It doesn't become such a hard thing to do, especially if something were to happen to you and you end up having an injury.
Have you ever thought about talking to, or have you talked to the builders in the area and told them what you're doing? Have you done that?
Not yet. I've only been working 8 months.
Let me tell you, I know Mike Williams of Belver. I know the type of work that construction company does. I think they would probably love to talk to you and get some ideas from you. Ed Fleece, Monarch Homes, he's on our board of directors. Ed has talked about how to make homes safer for senior citizens. These are the type of things. Why not? Why not introduce you to people that already build homes for seniors? Joe DePrima's company, his daughter's running that now. That's another good one. But there are a lot of good builders in the area that probably don't even think about the type of stuff that you're talking about right now, because this is new. It's just like we put the shuttle up in the air. This could actually be cutting edge technology.
Yes,
it really
it could.
So what else what else is Elaine, the engineer, trying to bring to a home modification?
I'm trying to make it pretty. I don't want the place to look medical. That is one of the things when we walk into a home where somebody wants us to do an assessment for accessibility. They usually say, I don't want the grab bars that look really medical, and I don't want this place to be medical. We have so many different types of grab bars and different
Grab bars
types.
can be very pretty.
Oh yes, they can be beautiful.
They can.
And they can be hidden so that you wouldn't even know that they're a grab bar.
Well, I have grab bars in my house, and they're polished chrome, and I'm just as happy with the polished chrome as I would have been with those ceramic ones, because I know they're safe.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're strong.
Right.
And I know the way they put them in, that if I pull on them to get up or lever myself, I know they're not going to fall out of there. And I think grab bars is probably one of the most simple home modifications that senior citizens can make.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Making sure that if most people don't think about it, and they get very personal about it. Men going to the toilet at night and get up in the middle of the night. The older you get with the release of the pressure on your bladder, it tends to change your balance, and a lot of men fall at night going to the toilet. This is something nobody talks about. They're afraid to talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about it on this show, because if I can give you ideas about how you can help senior citizens, then we've accomplished something. This show is an information show. You viewers are watching it. I hope that you're telling people. And by the way, the show that Elaine and I are doing today will be produced and will be archived on helpingseniors.of.brevard.org. helpingseniors.of.brevard.org. You can go on there and watch this show, and at some point we'll get the dogs up so you can see what they look like. Sometimes you learn to let sleeping dogs lie. There's a saying about that. Yes, there is. My grandchildren are waiting to see this, Elaine, because they didn't know how their Papa Joe is going to handle the dog. Well, I see Talia has decided she's going to take a nap. And Ajax is down at my feet. He's got his head turned around watching me now. So, but we did the radio show, and I'm so much thinking about the dogs and what the dogs are. I'm forgetting some of the things I wanted to ask you about. But when you talk about construction and dogs help set the stage for independent solutions, what did you mean by that?
Construction and dogs?
Construction and dogs help set the stage for independent solutions. The fact that the dogs make you think about how you're going to remodel something, or what is it?
Well, again, it's a transitional period. It's always a hard period to go through.
Okay.
Even when I'm just remodeling my home, I know even when I wanted to redo my bathroom, I had bought stuff for 7 years, and my husband and I were extremely scared about just stepping in and having our master bath completely gutted and having it, and we wouldn't be able to use it. So we were a little scared about that. But having the dogs there help you to calm down and just go, okay, It's okay. It's going to be okay. Everything is fine. The dog makes it just so much easier to deal with the stress.
What the real truth is, those dogs got so excited about something, you had to worry more about the dogs than you did about fixing the bathroom at that time.
Yes.
But this is what life is. This is what these shows are designed to do. But when does somebody really start? And I think you sort of hit on, when should you really start thinking about home modifications and growing older and what you should do with grab bars, raised toilets? That's something we didn't talk about in the show. Most people don't realize there's a great deal of difference in putting a larger or higher stool in the bathroom. And I hate to go into bathrooms where I see those plastic seats and all those chrome bars on either side of the toilet. It's a mess.
It makes it look
medical. You can modify your home to where it looks nice and it's easier to take care of it and keep it cleaner.
Yes, very much. Very true. And when should you? When you're thinking about where you want to live for good. So when you've chosen a home, like we've been in the same home for 24 years. I would love to stay in that home. So now I'm looking at it because it was built back in the late 70s. It's got a sunken living room. It's got a sunken pool table room. And now I'm looking at it going, how am I going to modify, or what's the solution for the steps down into the sunken portions of my home, so that when I get to the point I can't move, or it becomes a real true trip hazard, how am I going to get through that? I haven't gotten there yet. I keep looking at it. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do.
Figure that one out, because that could become, sunken living rooms are probably one of the greatest hazards for senior citizens. When my wife and I were looking at a house to buy, we went into a home and you had to you went into the entranceway and you had to step down to go into another one, and you step down to go into this part of the house. We went to that house, we went and looked at another house and said, we're going to go back and take a look. And by the time we got back, a lady had missed the step, fallen, and they had to have 911 action there. She had broken her shoulder, and at that point, we actually took that home as a model floor plan for our house, but instead of having to step down, we had it all one level.
Right.
Yeah, one level, and we found that was a lot smarter. I would also, as a modification person, what is your opinion on using larger versus smaller tiles in a home for flooring? You got the 20-inch, and you got the 24 square, and then you got those 12-inch ones.
Well, the only thing.
I'm tickling her paw.
I know. The only thing is the surface. Make sure the surface is slip resistant. So it doesn't really, I don't think it matters how big it is. I mean, the bigger, I like the bigger tile because it looks nicer and it's easier to put down, I think. I know it makes sure, you got to make sure everything is level. That's a big deal, because if it's not, you have cracking and everything. But the biggest thing for any flooring is to make sure that it's slip resistant.
What we did was we took the tiles we liked, set them down on the floor and put water on them and stepped on them carefully. And it helped us decide which ones we wanted.
And that's a good way to do it.
There are a lot of sane things you can do, Elaine, when it comes to talk about home modifications. And what's truly amazed me, and when Kay told me that you had contacted her, what amazed me was your background. And I thought, this is a tremendous opportunity for a woman to get involved in a construction industry, because predominantly it's men. And men don't often look at the home the same way a woman does. And when you get into the area of home modifications, to me, it's in a different world. What do you think some of your biggest challenges are going to be?
Some of them are people taking me seriously, but I've been dealing with that for many years. I graduated from college in 1985. I was one of 6 in my graduating class, one of 6 women in my graduating class from mechanical engineering at the University of Florida. Women were starting to become more and more engineers, but that was a little younger than me. Then I entered the Space Center, and the Space Center was very male dominated. One of the reasons I got my professional engineering license while I was at the Space Center and didn't really require it, because as an aerospace engineer, professional engineering was not required at that time. I got it because, one, I wanted to have a door in case something happened with the Space Center. Thank God I had that. The other thing was, people would ask me, are you a real engineer? I got that many times. And even when I told them I had a mechanical engineering degree and a BS from the University of Florida, they still would ask me, are you a real engineer? Once I got the PE license, now I can tell them, yes, I'm a real engineer.
We got about a minute left. Let's wake Talia up so people can see it.
Talia, come on.
Come on, get it. Come on,
Come
Talia.
on, Talia. Come on, Talia.
This is Talia, folks. And come on, Talia, get up where they can see you.
Come on. Good girl. Good girl.
Yeah. I don't know if we get a picture of Ajax. She's on the floor, but Talia is a therapy dog. Has a beautiful beagle. I got it right.
Yes,
beagle.
She's a beagle.
They're
both
beagle.
purebred dogs.
She's a very pretty dog. And Ajax is a very handsome Rhodesian Ridgeback, and I happen to like Rhodesian Ridgebacks because I had one a long time ago. What else would you say? You got 30 seconds to say something about HandyPro. How do you contact you?
HandyPro of the Space Coast. Our number is 321-208-7989. And my name is Elaine Cook. And again, I am a professional engineer. We have the Certified Environmental Access Consultant, a CAP certified, and also executive certification home modifications.
Yeah, and you have therapy dogs. Thank you.
Yes, and I have therapy dogs.
And I want to thank you, viewers, for watching today's episode of Helping Seniors. And Lauren and Maddie, I hope you watched Papa Joe take care of the dogs. I was able to do it. What do you think, I could or not?
He did a great job.
There you go. Thank you, kindly. Okay. Thank you for watching, folks. I'm Joe Steckler. Thank you for joining our program today. I'd like to remind you that our senior information line is available to you at 321-473-7770. There you can get help and direction that could be helpful for your specific situation or circumstances. The work of helping seniors is very important, but we can't do it alone. That is why our sponsors here in Brevard County are so important. I'd like to thank our many area sponsors, businesses, and medical providers who support the mission of helping seniors that help us carry the cost of our media efforts. If you'd like to join us either as a business partner or simply donate as an individual, we would welcome your call at 321-473-7770. You are always welcome to visit our website at www.helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. Thanks so much for your help. It does make a difference.